Hello YouTube, Wes here checking in with a brand new episode of the Vinyl Survivor. This is Vinyl Survivor episode number 144. Vinyl Survivor is the show where I talk about albums I've brought into the house here, tell you what I thought of them after giving them some serious listening time, let you know whether they're going to be staying in my collection or whether those albums just weren't for me. As you know, I tend to pick up a lot of albums, a lot of stuff I don't really know that well, so this is my chance to sort of tell you what I thought of things after I've gotten them, and some of these things I've had for a long time and just now getting to them. So it's kind of a mixed bag and a kind of an interesting way to share with you what I thought of the albums I've been listening to recently. So let's go ahead and get into the episode. Hope you enjoy it. First album I have to share with you today. As I'm filming this, we're heading into the holiday season. I don't know when this is going to get uploaded. I know I'm kind of backlogged on these episodes, but we have a Christmas album from the ever-present Ronco. Yeah, definitely from the 70s and the 80s, Ronco was kind of a household name for mail order type things. But anyway, this is an album they did called A Christmas Gift. It is a sequel to an album they did called A Christmas Present the year prior. Just a collection of classic Christmas songs that they put together. You got Barbra Streisand, Tony Bennett, Andy Williams, Bing Crosby, Johnny Mathis, Percy Faith, Johnny Cash, Sammy Davis Jr., and just, you know, classic sort of mid-century Christmas songs all collected here. And the cool thing about this is it's a gatefold with a pop-up diorama. Oh, no, I'm doing this backwards here. Like this. No, it went that way. I had it right the first time. Let's try this again. See if we can make this happen. There we go. So yeah, really cool. I think the previous album did something similar as well. You could sort of set this up and use it as a display during the holidays and play the album as well. So that's pretty neat. I always enjoy sort of pop-up things in gatefolds, so that was a really cool thing. My buddy Mike here in town found this for me. Thank you, Mike, for giving this to me. And this one's on a green label. And yeah, there's a lot of tracks on here, so this is kind of like a K-Tel kind of thing, you know, just sort of a as seen on TV kind of album, but it's just a cool piece and something fun to spin during the holiday season. I do have a nice little Christmas music collection, so this will be added to that. And yes, this is staying in my collection. So that's the first album. Let's go ahead and move on to the next album. All right, next album I have to talk about, not Christmas or holiday themed at all. This is the debut album from Sir Mix-a-Lot titled Swash from 1988. Of course, has the title track Swash on here. Tons of hits on here. You got Posse on Broadway, Buttermilk Biscuit, Rippin', Hip Hop Soldier, Iron Man, Square Dance Rap. Yeah, I remember all of these songs being pretty big at the time. Really great album, great hip-hop album. If you like this kind of sort of party West Coast kind of sound, you know, this is way before Baby Got Back and all that stuff. So pretty cool, and it's neat to have this. I've always had a copy of this in some format or the other, and it's really nice to have this on vinyl. And this is on Nasty Mix Records, which has kind of a white label there. So yeah, Sir Mix-a-Lot Swash definitely gets a thumbs up from me. I'm a hip-hop head from the 80s, and I love this kind of stuff, so always pick it up when I see it. This one is definitely staying in the collection. It gets a thumbs up from me. Okay, next up we have another debut. This is the debut album from OMD, otherwise known as Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. This is a 1984 reissue of their debut album, which came out in 1980. But it's a UK reissue, so it has a different cover. And yeah, just nice to have this. I do have a copy of this album already in the collection, but I believe it's just a US copy, which is somewhat similar to this cover, but not quite. I don't remember exactly what the cover to that looked like. But yeah, I found this UK pressing and thought I would go ahead and grab it just because it's UK. Sort of a black thin disc label. And yeah, OMD are sort of a, I guess the best way to put it would be sort of like a dark synth pop kind of sound. Yeah, really cool sound, and definitely something I get into a lot, is this sort of 80s electronic pop kind of stuff. And yeah, OMD were one of the big names in that, and I definitely keep their stuff in my collection and regard it highly. So this is absolutely staying in the collection. All right, next up we have a 1970 album by the band Cactus. This is their self-titled album on Atco Records. And yeah, Cactus are kind of a country rock, kind of desert rock kind of sound, ZZ Top kind of sound maybe, you know, sort of 70s hard rock. Yeah, really good rocking kind of 70s rock stuff. Not anything amazing, but just fun to put on if you want something, some nice 70s sort of hard rock kind of sound. Cactus were a cool group, and definitely has an iconic cover there. And as I said, they're on the Atco label, that nice yellow label. Nice deep grooves on these records. They seem to hold up to abuse pretty well. So it's Cactus, self-titled, 1970. Thumbs up from me, staying in the collection. All right, next up, another one I won't spend too much time on because I believe it's an upgrade. This is the major label debut album from MC Hammer. He did have an album he released himself prior to this that has a lot of the same songs that are on here. So this is technically, you could say this is his first album from 1988. Let's Get It Started. You got Turn This Mother Out. They Put Me in the Mix, Son of the King, Feel My Power, Pump It Up. Some classic sort of MC Hammer tracks before he really made it big with his next album, Can't Touch This. So yeah, this is some more classic hip hop, and definitely something I dig, and it's going to be staying in my collection. Quickly show you the label on this one. It's got the nice purple and silver capital label. Okay, next up we have a solo album by an artist that was originally in the band Soft Cell, and this is Marc Almond with the album The Stars We Are. 1988 is the year on this one. Really cool, fun, very dramatic kind of pop music here. Marc is gay, and he's very flamboyant, and he lets that out in his music. So it's very sort of flamboyant, in your face kind of pop music that's very dramatic, very, you know, very almost diva-esque kind of sounding. But really cool and good, enjoyable, really nice pop music, and definitely dug hearing this. He did a track on here with Nico. I think one of the last things she did, Your Kisses Burn, which is really cool track. Yeah, Marc Almond with Nico. Yeah, just a good, solid pop album here. Definitely dug it. Nice insert with liner notes and lyrics and photos. And this one, once again, purple and silver capital label. Very nice. Marc Almond with The Stars We Are. Some really nice art pop music, and definitely gets a thumbs up for me, and definitely staying in my collection. All right, moving on, another really awesome album, one that sort of got me into this artist, and I've just sort of gone hog wild ever since then. This is Nils Frahm his album Spaces. It's from 2013, but it's a collection of live recordings from various concerts he's done over the years, various performances he's done over the years, from 2012 to 2013. Nils Frahm is an instrumental, ambient sound texture, electronic piano player, just really cool, makes really cool music, and does really cool things with sound. So if you have a really curious ear and you enjoy sort of unique sort of sounds and textural kind of sounds and just interesting stuff musically, you don't necessarily need to have a chorus and lyrics and all kinds of stuff like that. Definitely Nils Frahm is someone to check out. I just love this stuff. This happens to be a a Vinyl Me Please pressing of this album, which they did before I actually subscribed, so I had to buy this from Discogs. There's the front cover sort of pulls out, and it's a poster, and there's different ones you can put in the front, but this is the actual one that they used on the CD. I believe I do have a CD copy of this as well. Some liner notes on it. And the original album would be in white, but the Vinyl Me Please flipped it and did black. And I believe the original pressings might have been on white vinyl, and this is on black vinyl from Vinyl Me Please. 2 LP set, as I said, black vinyl. There's the other one you can use as the cover. Just a nice stack of synths there. And yeah, Nils Frahm just does really awesome soundscapey, textural kind of work, and just really, really enjoyable stuff. So if you, for some reason you haven't heard his music and you think you might like it, go ahead and check him out. Awesome stuff. All right, moving back into some more hip hop. This is another one from '88, I believe, or no, this is from 1990. This is Professor Griff and the Last Asiatic Disciples. Professor Griff was initially a member of the band Public Enemy. He made some anti-Semitic statements, and Chuck D actually kicked him out of the band. So Luke Skywalker of the 2 Live Crew basically gave him a record deal on his label, Luke Skywalker Records label, and this is the album that was produced from it. It is very political, but it's cool, it's of its time. It has a mixture of that very strong and proud Public Enemy kind of sound, mixed with sort of the partying, kind of fun, kind of laid back-esque kind of sound of 2 Live Crew. It's kind of an interesting mixture, but to me it works. I really like this album a lot. It's something I picked up as a blind buy many years ago, sort of a very, very cheap sort of blind buy. It was in clearance somewhere, and I said, that kind of looks interesting, and I don't know what it's about. I'll go ahead and pick it up, and I actually dug it quite a bit. I like the mixture of the you know, the political, outspoken, protesty kind of nature of it, mixed with the fun sort of party nature of the 2 Live Crew kind of production. Unfortunately, at this time, 2 Live Crew was deep into getting sued by a lot of different people for their lyrics, and sued by people for using the Luke Skywalker name and things like that. And unfortunately, they weren't really able to properly market this, and Luke Skywalker was getting screwed over by his accountant. Basically ended up stealing the company from him. I read his autobiography earlier this year, and it was kind of a very sad story. But yeah, it's sad that this never went any further, never went anywhere. But just a really cool hip hop album. If you happen to see it and you think you might like it, if you're into Public Enemy, you probably like this. It's really good stuff, and an album I enjoyed having, and I'm glad I have it on vinyl now. Said that's on Luke Skywalker Records. There's an insert with some 2 Live Crew gear you can order. Definitely was Luke Skywalker was good at marketing, not necessarily a great businessman as far as keeping the books tight, but great at marketing, and yeah, there is that. But anyway, Professor Griff and the Last Asiatic Disciples, Pawns in the Game, definitely gets a thumbs up for me. Like I said, an album I've had for years and years and years now, and definitely wanted to have it on vinyl and was glad to find it. So, spent enough time on that. It's something I really like. All right, next up, we got some more 80s pop here. This is the album from 1988 from Scritti Politti titled Provision. Definitely sort of an 80s pop rock kind of sound. Not too much to say about this. I enjoyed it, but it doesn't really stand out to me as anything amazing. Just a good sort of 80s pop rock kind of sound. A little less synthy than I would like, I think. This is getting later in the 80s and getting more of just a pop rock kind of sound, and kind of sounding kind of commercial to me anyway, on the Warner Brothers label there. And get some photos and some lyrics, I guess, on there as well. So yeah, Scritti Politti, Provisions, 80s pop rock kind of stuff. Enjoyed it enough to keep it, but not necessarily a standout in my opinion, just okay. Alright, and the last album I have to talk about, sort of some electro-funk kind of stuff. Very common, very well known. This is a Daz Band with Keep It Live. 1982 is the release on this one. And you got Let It Whip is the most well-known track on here. And it's on the Motown label. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Vinyl Survivor, episode number 144. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments down below if you have any. If you aren't subscribed already, think about subscribing so you'll be kept up to date with future episodes of the Vinyl Survivor as well as other vinyl-related videos I do here on the channel. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day, great night, and we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.